Hello everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. In the last episode, well, we did some Force Gem stuff, so if that was exciting, then you'll be excited about this episode because we're doing more Force Gem stuff. Yeah, we'll wrap up all the, Force Gem train travel sort of thingamabobbers we have to do, in this part before we head to the Tower of Spirits, although there will be another episode after that, I guess. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably guessed what the next episode is going to be. Hint, it's in this town. But first we actually have another Force Gem Sidequest in this town. It's this lady over here. I went to the wrong house first. I'm a freaking idiot. But, so, basically, you know, his husband, he's so good at rabbits. You can see the rabbits in the background. You know where we're going. Why do we have to go there? I don't want to see him. He's creepy. Those poor bunnies, we have to deliver them. They're all frolicked, and it's gonna be nasty. However, I do check in here, and actually, turns out this guy's a pearl necklace. Now, I know I want to save up the palace dish that we saw at Beedle's, but this pearl necklace is kind of handy. You know, at some point I'll be close enough to the treasure, to Linebeck, that I'll just sell some treasures over there, get the 1,000, get the palace dish, and I'll have a pearl necklace and a palace dish. We're already getting pretty close to having all the stuff we're gonna need for the golden train set. I mean, it's not really that hard to end up getting all of it. It's probably one of the harder things to do in this game to get all that, certainly, because collecting the treasures is certainly, you know, tricky, but as long as, you know, you keep it in mind, you know what you're doing, you know, you can build up to that pretty decently, and, you know, eventually you can get it. It's not nearly as impossible as it might seem at first, perhaps. Because, you know, a lot of those side quests, you know, involving treasures and the random chance and blah blah, you know, sometimes it can be a little daunting, I think, but, this one, you know, not too bad. I guess in the end it's good that we're going to Rabbit Land Rescue because we actually do need the money, and we'll get paid from the guy in order from delivering all the rabbits, so I guess in the end it's actually not even that bad that we're going to Rabbit Land Rescue and taking care of this. In the end it's kind of almost a good thing, so we're going to head over there, we're going to take care of that and get a Force Gem and move on with our lives. Now the nice thing is because I got this path over here for last time, it kind of saves us some time to getting over there. I'll also probably have to go ahead. Well, we'd almost definitely just go use the warp gate. Even, you know, the warp gate might still be faster. It's pretty close, but you know, this is a nice scenic route. There's not really too much on it besides spiders. You know, I guess the spiders are kind of tricky. You know, these golden ones take 2 hits, and sometimes it is hard to hit them because they move so much. Like that. How did that not hit? Come on, game. But you know, all in all, this path isn't really that bad. There's very, very few signs to worry about. So you don't have to worry about the customer getting angry. I mean, in general, the customer getting angry is rarely something to worry about in this. So, more spiders! Yay, spiders! We've blown those up in them forever. By forever, I mean last episode. By last episode, I mean like 2 seconds ago when we blew up the golden ones. Hey, it's Beedle! How's it going, Beedle? How's the little boy treating you up there? Sorry, the kidnapped little boy, because we are sketchy cyclists. This one's borderline sketchy in itself, because, you know, anything involving the Rabbit Land Rescue guy is just gonna be borderline sketchy at least. That's just like, you know, standard for him. He's just creepy. He is a creepy character, and I love him for that, and hate him at the same time. It's like Tingle. You love to Tingle, and you hate him at the same time. Oh, well, there's a whistle thing here. You're doing a great job, Mr. Engineer. Well, thank you very much. I try to blow that little whistle with my dimpy little wooden train, which is better than the spirit train. Keep that in mind. And, you know, technically, I guess the wood train's as strong as the metal trains and the exquisite trains and all that shenanigans, so I don't know, it must be pretty darn strong wood. It was made from the Great Dooku Tree. They took him from whatever the island was in Wind Waker, they cut him to pieces, and they built trains out of him. Poor little guy. But that's okay, because in Ocarina of Time, the Great Dooku Tree was a dungeon, and it was annoying, so whatever. Anyways, and now the woman finds the truth. Yes, that's right. Your husband has a thing for rabbits. And, yeah, we basically just caused a giant squabble and a fight. But, you know, luckily this woman has some common sense. She's like, you know what, I'm going home. Screw my husband, he's a freaking creeper. I mean, if you showed up and you saw your husband / wife / significant other / whatever, and he's like, you douchebag, why'd you bring her here? But if you saw a person, like someone you care about, dressed up in the outfit, you'd be a little creeped out as well. But hey, we get paid for it. I guess I just walk over here to show ocean rabbits. They're in the water. They still walk on water. It's pretty special. Anyways, back to here. Okay, let's take you home, Missy. And no, your husband's creepy. No, don't give in. Don't give in. She gave in. Well, we get a Force Gem for it. Congratulations, you've convinced this person that having a thing for rabbits is a good thing. Frolicking, it's a good thing if we get paid for it. Link now advertises frolicking. But, hey, Force Gem completed, whatever, let's move on. Yes, I'm glad that she's trying to work things out with her husband and his creepy rabbit fetish that's getting in the way of his marriage. You know, let's just keep fostering things like that, why not? This is actually a very interesting set of tracks. As you can see, it's pretty impractical. I mean, there's really, it's kind of, you know, it does add more time. Obviously, it's faster to get from the Forest Sanctuary to the Snow Realm by taking the path of the Rabbit Sanctuary. Very, very brief chipmunk section there, but this video's long enough as it is. Remember when I used to have short videos? Yeah, neither do I. So, basically, the only thing that's, I guess the important thing about this section of track is the fact that there actually is rabbits on here. Also, as you can see, the destination I picked was the portal to Anouki Village, because that is going to be our next destination in our quest to get more Force Gems. So, that shall be what we're doing. But yeah, so a little brief, pointless excursion through the forest. And there are 2 rabbits in this section, so that'll bring our total to 9 grass rabbits, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think we got, what, 5 before, and then 2 last episode, and then 2 this episode. Yeah, I think it's 9, so not bad, I guess. And that's really the only point of this section is for rabbits. So, hey, that one was pretty easy. He's just like, I'm going to walk in a straight line. That's going to be perfect for dodging nets. You know, walking in straight lines always works when you're trying to avoid being captured and then sent to frolicky, 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 frolicky. I make no sense half the time. Anyways, there's the other rabbit right there. Pretty close to each other. And let's get him. Whoa, no, okay, come on. Come on, no. Well, 2, 1. Yeah. God damn it, rabbit. I mean, as you can see, my method for catching them is to just sort of let them, it's to let them, just stop and then try to get them while they stop. But if they are like that, they just start up right away, then, you know, unless you have lightning fast reflexes, sometimes it can actually be pretty tricky to catch them. Sometimes it's really hard to anticipate them because they have such random, erratic movements. So when they're stationary, I mean, you have a better chance of catching them, but then if they move, you know, it won't work, and it wastes time waiting for them. So I don't know what the best method of catching rabbits necessarily is. But I go to the Forest Sanctuary, I come back over here, as you saw, there's a little cut there, and we're gonna try this again. Come on. No, oh, come on. Oh, come on. Do not be like that snow rabbit back in whatever episode it was. No. Get in my net. No, come on. No. Wow. 33 milliseconds. Is that? No, that's not a new record. I'm pretty sure I've had one that's been even less than that. Yeah. So, like I said, we're going to Anuki Village. At this point, it's quicker just to go through this path and up to the Snow Realm via that way. So, we shall be heading back this way. Kind of already went through this whole section of track twice. It's a bonus feature, 2 for the price of 1. And we speed kill those warthogs, because speed killing warthogs is the best way to kill warthogs. So, off to Anouki Village, where our next Force Temple Sidequest is. We've actually kind of had a little bit of a hint at it before. Back when we visited Anouki Village, they gave us some hint of the sidequests that are available there. And actually, the rest of the episode is going to be spent dealing with one of them here, and then half of the one of the ones here. So, this guy, for starters, as you said before, we need lumber. So, we need lumber and a handyman. A handyman. Where have we met someone who works with construction before? But, that's getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Our first sidequest is going to bring this guy over to a place with a cold, clear spring. And I can't think of anywhere better but Wellspring Station. Actually, a pretty quick one, because, you know, these 2 places are pretty close to each other. We haven't really gotten to the, Force Gem sidequests that take, you know, span whole realms, which is definitely, I mean, it happens. I mean, heck, we kind of had one with the bridge builder bringing him all the way down to the train post. I mean, some of these are actually pretty lengthy tracks, but then, you know, you have some of these that are like this that are just kind of short, so it sort of balances out in the end. But anyway, onto our train. We shall go to Wellspring Station, and all shall be K. Alright, I mean, there's not really much to talk about in these segments. I mean, like I said last time, you know, I would do this whole thing in Chipmunk because it's repeat track, but, you know, it's just like, I don't know, there's side quests, they're technically, you know, I don't know, I don't really know how I want to be showing this stuff off, but, you know, this is, I guess, the sort of boring section of the game. It's almost like, you know, most games have, like, a section like this that's just like, side quests, especially those other games. I mean, there's always the side quest episodes, well, more prevalent in the 3D ones, if you're including these in the 3D ones, I guess, than the, you know, old days Zeldas, you know, Link's Awakening and Oracle Seasons and Ages. Like, I mean, the side quests were so quick that, you know, you could do like that and then like 10 million other things in an episode and, you know, sort of blend it out. But, you know, with the 3D Zeldas and with this, you know, the side quests become longer, the overworlds are bigger, you know, it takes longer to get around. You have a slow-ass train, which is not really that slow, it's just that there's lots of tracks and it just takes a while. I mean, what is with Zelda these days and just having really long, somewhat boring overworlds? And if you think about it, even Skyward Sword suffers from that, because, I mean, the sky, not really that very exciting of a place. And then, you know, the Great Sea, you know, Hyrule Field and Twilight Princess was a step up from those, I feel, but, you know, still kind of that good. Obviously, Phantom Hourglass has a sea, you know, this has a trains. You know, it just seems like the Zelda stable these days is like a really boring sort of overworld segment to just elongate the game, which is kind of cheap. At the same time, you know, it feels new if you're just like, okay, we're gonna go to Wellspring Station, instantly transport, and then it would just be kind of boring. So, I mean, it's nice to have, I guess it's a balance between the nice scenic, you know, setting the world, you know, setting the tone of the world, versus, you know, how long an inconvenience is to the player. And I screw up the freaking, whatever, I screwed that up. Failure! But luckily, him being perfectly happy doesn't matter. Who cares if he's happy? He was a douchebag when I had to match him up with everyone else anyway. Stupid Anuki matching up quest. That was really stupid. But he's going to start signing out his Mega Ice. Now, this is actually a required side quest. This is one of the 2 required Force Gems to get. In fact, we have both of them now. The other one was the one from Carbon. Because we actually are going to need Mega Ice for the main story at some point. But we don't need it now, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead, take care of this first part of the side quest later, and, you know, we'll get the Mega Ice at some other point. And while I'm here, actually, there is a section we can use the whip for, so, actually take a break from the Force Gem side quest for like half a minute and go do some cool stuff and kill some wolves because they're annoying and they also give us money, and money is good for me. So, I need about another 165 rubies. I forget if there's ruby. I think there's rubies in here, actually, so, it will be less than that, so it'll be pretty quick to just go to, you know, Linebeck, sell a treasure, and then, you know, be pretty good to go. Actually, I was already up to 935, so, really I could just sell a couple common treasures and be good to go. I mean, I have so many wood hearts and demon fossils especially, you know, you really do not need demon fossils for almost barely anything. Even the skull train, you know, it is mostly based off the Stalfos skulls and not really off the demon fossils, so as far as useful treasures go, demon fossils are certainly not one of them. So, I'll just be selling a couple other stuff. But this is actually a very interesting section of track again. Once again, like the one for the little kid and Beedle, you don't really get any rabbits from this section, but it does end up providing a very useful shortcut, maybe even more useful than the one provided from the other one. Actually, I think the 2 shortcuts connect to each other. Actually, for that matter, it actually provides 2 really interesting shortcuts. One of them being the shortcut you obviously see down to the forest realm over there, which is going to lead us closer to Castle Town than, you know, the entrance all the way to the west of the snow realm, which is obviously a bit more inconvenient. However, as you can see in the distance, there's also a warp gate over here, which is pretty awesome. As you can see, we can actually use this warp gate already, and this is an incredibly useful warp gate, as you're going to see in a little bit. Ding! Alright, let's hurry up here. Stupid delay. Okay, so we're gonna go through the warp gate. Well, actually, what I was going to do is I was going to show up the rest of the track because I didn't anticipate one of the segments coming up, but I'll actually show up that track off later. I'm just going to go to here now because we'll actually be taking this path in just a little bit. I'm barely making it that warp gate. I like cut the tail end of my train there. Because we'll actually be using this warp gate to get to another part of the other quest. And you know what? I was like, you know, I'm already starting that slow motion. This video is already 22 minutes long. I'll just, you know, we'll show that section off in a little bit. So, kind of a bit of an awkward cut, but that's what happens sometimes when you change your mind while recording. Because I wasn't actually aware you could do this side quest yet until this point. I'm actually just going over here to the trading round, to the Linebeck's trading post, the trading realm. It's the realm of trading. Yeah. As you can see, you can also hit these things, the little jellyfish things. I probably should slow this down, but this video is already kind of long. I almost got enough money just from that alone. I really don't even need to sell that much. I'm going to just for the sake of stuff, though. But you can, if you hit those jellyfish things long enough, and you know, if you just keep hitting them off the screen, you can keep hitting them. They'll actually split into more jellyfish things, so you can get multiple rubies going at once. You know, it's actually a very entertaining thing to do while you're in the ocean realm. You can get a lot of money from that. As you saw, I gained like a good what, 30 rubies more? I mean, I gained quite a bit, so, I will be selling, I believe, a demon fossil. What do I go for? Do I go for just demon fossils? No, I go for a pirate necklace, because these are also, not very useful in terms of, I go for both, that's right. The pirate necklaces, really not that useful, in terms of, what we need to get, because they don't play a part in the, best train that we need to get, so, those ones will definitely be the ones I'm willing to sell. They seem to be pretty common for me in general, so, you know, I'm making just a little bit of extra money so I can afford to buy some stuff like potions if I need to, and so on and so forth. Now, the bridge worker happens to be here, so we're actually going to be using him to build the, yes, you are going to build an ugly old fence because you're an ugly old moblin. That was rude. But hey, you know, he betrayed us. He was like, hey, I'm not going to make you do any sort of work for my work, and then he's like, pay me 5,000 rubies, and then, you know, shenanigans occurred. I lost my shield, I had to deal with likes. I had to deal with Linebeck, and who the hell wants to deal with Linebeck? I'm like very on and off with Linebeck. Half the time I talk about him, I'm like, I love Linebeck, and half the time I talk about him, I'm like, I hate Linebeck. And yes, I'm apparently bipolar. So as you can actually see up there where the part of the new train tracks come down from. Now, I guess it's debatable whether using the warp in the forest realm or the warp in the ocean realm is quicker, or in terms of getting to this guy to Anouki Village. We won't be getting a force gem from this yet, actually. This is just the first half of the side quest. So, it basically we need to bring him there, and then we also need to bring lumber there. And we can't bring the lumber there yet because we don't have the capacity to bring stuff over there yet. I mean, I'm sorry, but you don't. I mean, what would we do? Would we just pack the lumber in the passenger car? It doesn't work like that, even though it easily could work like that. But hey, we can. So, kind of, I guess, gives you a hint as to what the fourth train car is going to end up being, but I'm not going to spoil it any further than that. So, moving on this conversation, we're going back to the ocean realm. We're going to take the warp, and I'll be able to show off the rest of the warp over there then. Or, well, I'll be able to show the path to the Anouki Village, and then I'll be heading back over and showing the lower part, and that'll be about where the episode ends. Because, you know, Force Gem stuff, you know, it's pretty much taken care of at this point. There's not really much else I can do off the top of my head involving Force Gems, thank goodness. Although, unfortunately, we'll be dealing with that soon enough. I think we can probably even take care of quite a few of them before even the dungeon in, whatchamacallit, the fourth dungeon. We'll be doing even more Force Gem stuff before that. So, unfortunately, shenanigans, but soon enough we'll be getting back to the main story for a bit anyway, so I'll try to... I hit a dolphin again! I am still a horrible person, apparently. That's like 3 dolphins hit within 3 episodes. I am 1 for 1 except for the fact that I got 2 in 1 episode and then none in the last episode, but let's ignore that fact and go to the warp. Yeah, I am starting to really think that the quicker path was probably to go to the one in the forest realm, but, you know, Ocean Realm's a bit more scenic and cool, in my opinion, I guess. We get dolphins, we get to shoot them, we get the little jellyfish things, those things are cool. I mean, I love the sound of the dolphins. They make little squeaky noises, which don't sound like dolphins at all. Although I don't think I've ever really heard a dolphin before. I can't really think of what noise they make. But I'm pretty sure they don't make sort of noises. So, I should never ever try to make that noise ever again. But we're gonna take this guy to Anouki Village. I mean, it does bring us pretty close. No, you know, I do think the forest realm track is a bit quicker. Yeah, I make the judgment because, you know, the warp's just below Anouki Village, so it's about the same distance as this one is. And it feels like the Ocean Realm warp is a bit farther away from the train post than the Forest Realm warp. So, I guess the good news is, though, if you're taking the Ocean Realm warp, you don't have to worry about the demon train, so that's a plus. I mean, demon trains can sort of be a bit of a hindrance when you're especially when you're trying to take passengers, and you don't want to be, like, braking really fast and doing crazy train maneuvers, because then the passengers get pissed off. You know, I'm only doing these crazy train removers. I almost said the crazy train removers. That doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm not doing these crazy train maneuvers in order to, you know, just be a dick. I'm doing this to save your life, dude. Don't be pissed at me because I'm trying to get us not killed by a demon train. Just saying, people. Just saying. Just Super Saiyan. DBZ reference. That's right. I just went there. You got the idea. I got the idea. You got a thing. That's what I got. So yeah, he's all rested and ready to go to build a fence. The bridge worker is now the fence worker. He has been... That's probably a downgrade, actually. I think building bridges is probably more fancy than building fences. You know, building fences are just kind of little small, dippy things, and bridges are, like, huge, elaborate things. But he doesn't have any wood, so he can't get the Force Gem for this quest yet. That will be happening soon enough, though. I think we should be able to do that before even the 4th dungeon. I mean, if you guys have paid attention, you already have an idea where the wood we need to get is. I mean, you should probably, I mean, we even saw the guy who will give it to us last episode, so, it's going to be pretty simple to take care of it soon enough, but we just don't have the means to take care of it yet. So, what we're just going to quickly do to end off this episode is, well, actually, I have enough money to get to Beedle, so I forgot. I'm going to go down this path. We're going to go head over to Beedle, because Beedle is a cool guy, and there's one of those pig elephants, which does not sound nearly as cool as the cow, pig, cow, but, you know, who's counting? But, yeah, we're going to go over to, Beedle, get ourselves a palace. Beedle's all the way over there. Beedle, come someplace where I can see you, buddy. He's all the way over there. Whatever. Alright, so, and now how is he over there? How is he over there? That doesn't make any bit of sense. He was over on the right side of the map, and now he's on the left side of the map. Beedle, you just teleported. How the hell did you do that? Where is this teleporter technology? I want to use it. He used the warp gate in the sky. They have sky warp gates, apparently. Suit in before Link's next game has him flying around on a balloon. That would actually be kind of interesting, except we already have the bird from Skyward Sword, although I guess the flight mechanic really isn't used, you know, not to the extent that the boats and the trains have been, so... I don't know, could we have an airplane Link at some point? Who knows these days? I mean, once you've crossed the train barrier, who knows what other mechanical modes of transportation you've unleashed upon the world. But yeah, we're gonna head over to Beedle. He's over here. He seems to be over here a lot in the forest realm. So he's gonna be right next to Rabbit Line Rescue, actually. So there you are, Beedle. Get over here. And hello, little boy. How is it like being kidnapped from your home? Now, we won't actually be able to get enough to get a new card yet, unfortunately. To rank up to a new rank, but this will put a huge dent in it. We're already up to 150 points out of 500. We're like almost a third of the way there, but not quite. So the next major purchase we make at Beedle's will be enough to get that stuff. But anyways, this is gonna be LuckySevenDX apparently not realizing the video's over, ending the episode. So I will see you guys later. Bye bye.